recipe. Now let me take you through the ingredients. So here I have half a cup of chana dal, which I've soaked in 1 cup of water for 2 hours after washing it well under water. Now this is 1 cup of grated goa jaggery. Now this is how it looks for those of you who are not familiar with the goa jaggery. It comes in little pyramids like this. And it's really has a very different taste, and it's really delicious. Now here I'm going to use about 10 jackfruit leaves for the quantity that I'm making. Now you have to wash the leaves really well and wipe them completely dry, and you have to also use very large leaves like this with a little bit of the stem. Aren't they lovely? Really fresh and nice. They come all the way from Goa, thanks to Nilesh and Deepa again. Now here I have 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder. So I've used about 5 small pods of cardamom, 1 cup freshly grated coconut. So those are our main ingredients. So now let's begin with the recipe. So after I soaked the dal for about 2 hours, I'm now going to cook the dal in about 2 cups of water for 15 minutes till the dal is nice and soft. So you can test it after 15 minutes and just check with a spoon. You should be able to easily mash up the dal like this. And now I'm just going to drain off all the excess water and keep it aside till it cools down. And then I'm just going to mash it up with my fingers because I want a kind of a coarse paste. I don't want a very fine smooth paste. So you don't need to run this through the mixer. And then just transfer it to a bowl and set it aside. Now we're going to do the filling. We're going to prepare the filling. So now I've taken a pan, I've just heated up the pan. Now to the pan, I'm going to be adding about half cup of water, that is room temperature water. To that, I'm going to add the grated goa jaggery. And we're just going to stir this on a low to medium flame till all of this jaggery just, melts. So just keep stirring it. It will start to bubble a bit like this. But ensure that all of the jaggery is nicely, dissolved. Sorry for the steam that's coming onto my camera lens. Now once all of the jaggery is nice and dissolved, we're going to add our freshly grated coconut. Mix the coconut in really well. And now we're going to add our mashed up chana dal. So the chana dal, what it does, it adds to the body of the mixture, the filling, and it also helps to thicken the mixture as well as adding to the lovely taste. And now we're going to mix all of this together. We just have one more ingredient to add to make this even more delicious. So mix all of this really well together. Now you can always make the filling a day before you plan to make the holles. And now we're just going to add this lovely cardamom powder, which gives it a lovely taste as well as a lovely aroma too. So now we're going to just cook this on a very low to medium flame till it starts to thicken. So you will see in about 5 or 7 minutes, the mixture starts to thicken, and now you can put the flame off and our mixture is ready. So you can just transfer this to a bowl and set it aside. So this is our lovely filling or mixture all ready. Now we're going to work on preparing these beautiful cones made out of this lovely jackfruit leaves. It's a super simple process. So let me just take you through them. So I prepared some cones in advance and I said I'll just keep about 4 leaves to show you all the procedure. So now ensure that there are no holes or anything in the leaf. The leaf is nice and thick and fresh. Now just take it in this manner. So take the one without the stem and just put it towards the stem. And then you're just going to insert a small toothpick or a matchstick, something just to seal this up. So what I did is I took toothpicks, I just broke them up into 2 halves. And that's our cone already. I'll just show you a few more. So you can even prepare these cones and keep them on a particular day. Keep them in the refrigerator so that they don't discolor. Prepare your filling on one day And then we can just prepare the remaining, and you can have these lovely holles whenever you feel like. And these leaves are so easy to work with because they're nice and thick, so they don't tear and they don't break. I was just waiting to show you all this recipe. All I needed were the jackfruit leaves and the Goa jaggery. So now all our leaves are nice, and all our cones rather are all nice and prepared. So now we can work on the rice paste. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add hot water. So to 1.5 cup of rice flour, it took me about 1 cup and a little more, about 2 to 3 tablespoons more of hot water. Now you're going to use hot water and you're going to mix this really well. First I mixed it with a spoon, but then I found using my fingers or my hands are much better, because then you can feel the texture and you know whether you want to add more water. So you need this very thick kind of a paste. It should not be runny and it should not be too thick like a dough. Now in the meantime, I'm also preparing my steamer. So I filled it up with water, and now I've taken a damp kerchief, that is a men's handkerchief, just dampened it or wetted it under water, and I'm just placing it. I'm going to cover the lid and I'm going to keep it on a very low flame for about 5 minutes till the water in the steamer starts to boil and the steamer gets ready. So now we're going to line these cones. We're going to just wet our fingers a bit. It makes the work easier. Just dip your fingers in some water, regular temperature water, and we're going to apply the paste like this. So we don't want a very thick layer, we want a very thin layer. It's very easy to work with, guys, don't worry. But just see that your paste is not very runny. If it is runny, then just add a little more of the rice flour and make your paste nice and thick like this. And then just apply it to a very, very thin layer to the sides like that. And you just smoothen it out with your fingers. The water does help to smoothen it out, and that's it. It's all ready. Now we're just going to add a little. Now all the rice flour has been added, so we're just going to add this lovely jaggery and coconut filling. You can add as little or as much as you like. Don't add it right up to the top. Keep about a little space on the top, because we're going to seal it again with the rice paste, because we're looking for a cone shaped lovely steam cake. And now that just press the filling inside like this, and then just take a little bit of the paste again, wet your fingers, and then just apply it like this, and then just bring down the rest of the rice flour that's there and seal up the top of it so that the filling doesn't come out when we are steaming it. So I'll just show you one more, and also see that your steamer is ready. And then we're just going to place them on the steamer, on the cloth which we have dampened a bit in the steamer. Close the steamer up, and we're going to steam this for about 10 minutes and let the steamer cool completely before you open it. So here you can see that I'm placing it in my steamer, and I'm going to close up the steamer and keep it for 10 minutes. I always put a timer on my phone, that way I know that it's like 10 minutes, and I keep it closed till it's nice and cool down. And here you can see the lovely holles are all ready. The color of the leaves have changed to a darker green. As you can see, the ones which are not steamed are light green, and once they are steamed, they change to a darker green color, or an olive green color rather. So in this way, they are all ready. Now they're nice and cool, and I can handle them. They were very hot initially, and now you just have to remove the toothpick like this, or the matchstick, whatever you've added, and then just demold it like this. It comes off very, very easily. So this has no oil, nothing. It's steamed, so it's so delicious and made out of really nice ingredients. So guys, do try out this recipe. It's super easy and super delicious. And it's nice to have them nice and hot or warm. So if you're going to store them in your refrigerator, store them in an airtight container, and when you want to eat them, just heat them up in a steamer again or in your microwave. So I can see they easily come off. The leaf comes off very, very easily. Of Goan Mandos. It's super simple, guys. So now here I've taken 1 cup of rice. I'm adding it to a bowl. And now we got to wash this rice really well, thrice under water. Now I'm just showing it to you, over here. So just squeeze the rice. First you'll get a very murky kind of water like this. So just discard that. And then as you wash it, thrice, you'll get a much clearer, water. You can use any rice. And now after I kept the water, I'm going to add 3 cups of water and I'm going to keep it aside for at least 8 hours. Now after 8 hours, we're going to drain out all the water from the rice. Now we're also going to be requiring 1 cup of freshly grated coconut. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar and a pinch of salt. I'm going to add these ingredients to my mixer pot or mixer jar. And we're going to grind this using a little bit of water to make a nice fine paste or batter. Now I'm adding the sugar because I'm using organic jaggery. If you get your hands on Goa jaggery, there's nothing like it, then you can skip the sugar. But I'm using organic jaggery, which is not very sweet, so I'm adding a little bit of sugar. So if you're using the Goa jaggery, you don't need to add the sugar. Now I'm just going to add a little water at a time. So I've totally used about half a cup of water. And we're going to grind this to a very smooth batter. So our batter will look like this. So I'm just going to transfer this to a bowl. And then we have a few more ingredients which we need to add. So this is our batter. So now to this batter, just give it a small mix or a whisk. Now first I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder or elaichi powder. I've just taken about 4 small elaichis and pounded them in my mortar and pestle and whisked it well into the batter. Now I'm using 1 cup of organic jaggery because it's nice and dark and also good in taste, but it's not very sweet. That's why I added the sugar. Like I said, if you're using Goa jaggery, then you can skip the sugar. Now first mix it in well. Now we want all of the jaggery to dissolve really well. So I'm going to get my hands in and I'm just going to, dissolve all the jaggery. And then you get this dark batter. If you're using the Goa jaggery, you'll get an even darker color. Now I'm just going to add about 1/4 cup of broken cashew nuts. Now prepare your steamer at this time and put in enough water because we're going to steam this mandos for 45 minutes. So I've taken my cake tin and I've just greased it with a little bit of clarified butter or ghee. Pour in the batter. And now I'm going to steam it for exactly 45 minutes. So see that you have a lot of water in the steamer. Keep checking. Your steamer shouldn't dry up. And after 45 minutes, your mandos is all ready. Just take it out of the steamer and set it aside to cool completely before we demold it. Let it cool for an hour at least. And after an hour, just run your knife through the edges like this. Put a plate on top of it, overturn it, just tap it down a bit. You can feel the mandos, slipping down easily. And see the cake tin is also nice and clean. And it's all ready. So now you can just cut it up into any desired shape. Generally they cut it up into long rectangles like this, which I'll show you. So use a very sharp knife and just slide it down like this and like this, and then you can just shape it up. And that's it, guys. Your lovely Goan sweet is all ready to enjoy. So I hope you like this recipe. See you.